We get
And the
9.
thing is, the Pro Bowl, which nobody seems to watch much nowadays, even though I don't think it's that
What the
bad.
fuck's the Pro Bowl?
The Pro Bowl is basically like the All-Star game of the NFL.
I don't know what that means, dude.
Yeah. Basically, players who do like the best in there make like the all-star team. A lot of the sports around here have this.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like an all-star game of sorts where like the players who do the best during the year and get voted in make it, and then they have like a thing there. The problem is with the Pro Bowl is that people tend to just, it used to be after the Super Bowl, like a week after, but then they moved it to a week before. Well, the problem with that is that the players who make the Super Bowl always drop out of the Pro Bowl. They never want to play in that, then, since it's the week before the Super Bowl.
No,
it's a kind of like a glorified scrimmage of sorts for the most part.
Yeah, it sounds something like something similar we've had, but it's not with like All Stars, but it's like Legends versus Celebrities. We have like for a charity event each year over here. Like they get like old English international legends and stuff, and they put them up against younger like celebrities and stuff that know how to
it's
kick
kind
the
of
ball
like
about.
that. The only difference here is that you got the actual current players in there. I mean, the one thing I would say that would be more comparable to that, what you're talking about, would be like during the baseball season when they have that break for the All-Star game. They also have like a celebrity softball game where you have like old players and celebrities.
That is definitely more in tune to what I'm familiar with.
Which actually, I admit I watched a little of that to get a little bit fun. You have like former players who used to play baseball, or you have like ones that weren't into baseball but maybe like played softball because it is a softball celebrity softball.
What's the difference between baseball and softball?
Baseball, I mean, it's basically the way you pitch and the way you hit with like a bat. Because in softball, I mean, they tend to toss it kind of like underhanded to you, the pitcher dudes. Whereas baseball, they come at it like a lot.
So basically, it's just how you pitch, basically.
Yep. Well, not only you pitch, but what you use to swing at the ball when it gets thrown too. Because I think in softball, the bats are like not quite the same. But usually, baseball is supposed to be the basically the thing that it's like more what people watch around here. Softball is kind of like the backdoor thing, like the second.
It's always many. I've never heard that because listen, I've always heard it referred to as either baseball or softball. I just thought it was different name for the same thing. I never realized there was actually any difference whatsoever. It's like like that fucking
I would say
episode.
softball's for people who probably go cut it into baseball, or
fair enough.
Softball's a lot more niche. It's more of a local thing between people who don't really have the talent for baseball, but the softball thing can be a thing for them.
Fair enough. Like I said, we don't even refer to it as either of those. We refer to the fucking game as rounders. Don't ask me why. I have no idea.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. And while he's doing that, yes, we do refer to fucking baseball as rounders. If it goes by the same names, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same rules and all that shit. So, it is what it is. Okay, so... Oh, this is interesting. I've got the, I've got the fucking Oscars on here, and there's a performance going on, and the woman's fucking middle button is popped open. You can see her fucking cleavage a little bit. Alright, sorry, that's just funny because it was on in the background. I just looked over then for a moment. So I have no idea what's going on, really. I haven't been paying attention to the story. By the sounds of it, the regalia broke down, and just like in 15, you've got to do a bunch of shit to get it back to max strength. So he needs to speak with Rastaban and Gradania, which is fair enough. Oh, he's All Due Respect, which was... That actually sounds really familiar. Yeah, we've definitely... This is another quest I did as well, of course, All Due Respect. God, that was a while ago. It's funny. Oh, by the way, since he's not here, I can actually check the date when this was given to me.
right, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. And sorry, while you were gone, I was just checking the date. I haven't paused it or anything. It's still been going.
Yeah.
You gave me this on the 28th of April of 2019. So yeah, it was
a while back.
It was a while back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got the video on my own computer as well.
If you do find it, though, obviously once we're done here, you can feel free to delete the fucking thing.
Yeah, I think as far as the whole football thing is why I don't think the XFL will succeed as much is because it's like, okay, people have enough football like during while it's on. And plus the things they kind of did over the years to kind of maybe were a little bit unnecessary, like how you used to have the game mostly on mainly on Sundays with maybe a Monday night game. Well, now they've got it to where they've got one every Thursday night, whereas that only used to be a thing during the Thanksgiving weekend, which is
it's oversaturation. That's I mean, again,
that's the problem. Is that I think football maybe to the point of being oversaturated the way it is now.
Yeah,
so
I can actually equate that to wrestling, actually, because you take into account just WWE themselves. They've got Raw Mondays, they've got NXT Wednesdays, they've got SmackDown Fridays, and that's not taking into account all the extra stuff like the fucking interviews and the backstage talk shows and stuff. They have something for every fucking day of the week, and it's oversaturation. You get bored of something if there's too much of it, but I don't know. I think the XFL, if it's going to work, it'll work this time. It wasn't going to work last time just because he tried to wrestle it up too much, but it's got a better chance now than it did 20 years ago, but I still hasn't got a great chance of succeeding anyway.
Yeah, no, because here's another fun fact about these leagues like the XFL. There was actually another like short league that was on prior to when the XFL began. It was the AAL, I believe it was. And it actually
the anagram sounds not the anagram. Sorry, the word the letters sound familiar. What?
Yeah. So I think it was like American Alliance of Football or League or something, or I don't remember exactly what it was.
About 5 years ago or something.
No, I actually think it was. Actually, I think it was last year that it was.
Oh, it was only last year.
Came on with it, yeah. It was something like that. And it came on, but apparently it couldn't last, and there just wasn't much interest, and plus they didn't have the money to keep it going, so it shut down. Like the problem is that it's on during the time of year where people are kind of like okay, the football season's over, they've moved on to something else because of course you got in February is when spring players, pitchers, and catchers report for spring training in baseball, and then you have spring training that starts getting underway, and then you've got for the lesser, more of a niche thing, but you got in February is when auto racing starts, when the NASCAR season begins. You've got the NBA is going on right now. You've got college basketball going on right now. And then in March, they have the whole March Madness thing where, you've got basically like the college basketballs have their conference tournaments, and then you have the big NCAA tournament as well. That kind of stretches into the beginning of early April was when it finishes. And then stuff like that, if you know what I mean.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, over here, like, the two top sports are like golf is second, and obviously our football is
I
first.
haven't even mentioned golf either, too. Eventually you're going to have a little bit more golf showing around here as well, because you're going to get...
I think like the PGA Tour and all that is coming up. Or something like that.
The PGA Tour, yep.
But here's the thing. There's a massive gap between number 1 and 2. I assume like American football is like the biggest, most popular sport in your country, right?
Oh, yeah, without question.
But how big is the gap between that and, say, like basketball or baseball or something?
I think quite a bit. I think, it's hard to figure basketball, because the thing with that is that it's got to be more of a globalized game than it was in years past, as opposed to like baseball, where just
I would say out of every sport you guys have like as your big stuff, basketball is probably the one that's had like the biggest international appeal to it, because baseball is not popular outside of America, outside of Japan.
Yeah, really, baseball's biggest in like the States here, Japan, and I would say maybe the South American countries, because they've got some stuff in there. But really, as far as like everywhere else, there's not as much of a draw for it.
It's got practically nothing in Europe, I can tell you that much.
Right, yeah. Basketball they did because of international players, but more to extent, because way years back they had the guy from China, Yao Ming, who was in there for a while, and then
I'll say the basketball does have a slight appeal in Europe, not a massive one, but there is there's a league here in England as well.
Yeah, there are. I think there are like European players that are playing the league right now. In fact, I know my team that I follow actually did. Them and the Bucks and the Hornets did play a game in France recently, as a matter of fact.
Sweet. Obviously, you got to support the home team, the Sheffield Sharks, baby. I have been to a couple basketball games. They're okay.
Yeah.
Not in a long time, but I have been to them.
Yeah.
Let's say, probably out of the three, I think, obviously, that's got the biggest appeal. Baseball, I don't even think there's a league anywhere in Europe.
Yeah,
and American football has like a few little minor leagues spread around Europe, but again, even that's not really that popular. Right. Basketball's the only one that's really broken.
I know the NFL
appeal.
Used to have something called NFL Europe, but that's been defunct as of now. So
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that was years ago. They had that.
But it's like I said. I mean, you guys have a lot more sports that are a lot more popular outside of football and golf over here. There's not really a whole lot, and even golf is like a distant second place. So
yeah,
it's
I wouldn't even put golf that high over here. I mean, it's
definitely. I think like in terms of a ratio, golf definitely got a bigger appeal in England.
Mm-hmm. And also to point out this tower mechanic here, where you have to one character has to get in one. That will be something you'll be seeing down the line in dungeons. Not so much in Heavensward, but at least one dungeon in Stormblood has that mechanic.
Well, keep an eye out for that in the future then.
Yeah, basically how that works is at least one character has to be standing in the circles of one of those, because if they don't, then that attack that the monster that pulls off on that ends up doing massive raid-wide damage. It can be one that can be very lethal if you don't follow that. So
this guy's actually got a decent amount of EXP, not EXP, sorry,
hit points.
Hit points, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, fun fact,
this is an FF15 monster as well, just in case you
probably
haven't. Yeah, this monster is literally from 15.
I don't remember this guy.
Yeah, you don't see him very much in 15. I think he was meant to be. I remember I remember seeing him in 15 was basically endgame. Was when you were back in.
Is this after the time jump?
Yeah, it was after.
Yeah, here's the thing: when the time jump happens, I generally tend to lose any interest in the story or what's happening. Just try and get the thing done as quick as possible.
But back when they're in Samya, when they're finally going for the showdown with Arden at the end, there, along the way, I've seen this guy there. He's one of those monsters you have to avoid or try to get around because he's probably not what you want to deal with.
At that point, my attention is usually gone on the game at that point. So, listen, I recognized the mech earlier that you fought, but this, no, I don't recognize this at all.
Yeah, this is one of the demons. Oh yeah, there's the towers again. Basically, the goal there is to fill a circle in each of one of those with at least one character. Well, usually you just need one character in each one of them. But as long as they're not empty.
Oh, it's like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
No, the symbol on the floor.
Right. Yeah. Basically telling you how he's going to attack with his tail.
Yeah.
I've seen something similar to that, although a little bit more maybe extreme, where your safe zone is even more narrow than it was in there. And plus the AoE area was also bigger as well, so when you actually swing.
God, it takes a lot longer when you're playing solo to fucking defeat enemies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Was this a... this was a thingy, wasn't it?
This was a solo duty,
yeah, I was going to say. I think I saw that when you first started the duty up. I thought I saw it like a green glow.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's always happened to me. Solo duty, you see that glow.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this mechanic you'll be seeing too if you haven't already seen these arrows pointing to a person. That basically, in order to deal with that, as many people as possible have to stack to the person that gets those arrows.
I assume another duty here is to make sure Noctis doesn't get TKO'd.
Yes. That's another reason you want to make sure to get in the tower, so that otherwise he may take extra damage from that. You don't want him getting knocked out. Yeah, that stack marker mechanic you see with the arrows you'll see later on eventually too. That's actually more common in the towers thing as you get later in the game. Basically, when you see somebody get as many of those arrows as you can on them, just have as many people stack on to help take the damage. One person takes something like that, yeah, they're probably going to be pretty much flat out nuked.
Oh yeah, I remember something else I was going to ask you. Now that obviously the 7 remake, or at least the first part of the 7 remake, is scheduled to release in 2 months, do you think we'll start hearing anything about 16?
I have no idea.
Because there's been absolutely... Obviously, there's been plenty of fan speculation if you go on certain forums and stuff, but there's been no announcement, there's been no, oh, we're thinking about it, well, we're coming up with ideas. There's been absolutely nothing about 16 yet. Which is a shame, because 15 now has been out for a while at this point. It's been out about 3-4 years, something like that, I think. Something like that. And it'd just be nice to have some confirmation that we're going to get another Final Fantasy game that's not a remake or something. Yeah, it's been out like 3.5 years, and we haven't even had an announcement for 16 yet, so let alone a release date. God, I can't wait for the 7 remake. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, I tell you what, if there's ever any FF14, FF7 collab, I'll definitely be recording that.
Was there a collab for Cloud's Bike?
Well, no, not for Cloud's Bike. That was just made available separately at some point. That wasn't part of a collab.
I assume there'll be something, just because obviously there's the 7 remake. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if it'll be something like this, but there'll probably be something.
Yeah, let's tell you what, there's a collab between 7 and 14. I will definitely be all over that, and I'll be recording that as well.
But if there's a collab for 13, let's not bother. Because 13's terrible.
Well,
maybe, but probably not, because 13's terrible.
Yeah, I'll still play through whatever collab for that.
Ooh,
but
on a gear.
I'll be recording it. Yep. And you got the campfire that you had like in 15.
That is pretty cool, I have to admit. I like that. Unfortunately, there's no a new recipe.
Yep.
Now, I admit I haven't really been paying attention to the story very much. Is Noctis, like... Has he traveled to a different world, or is he just like the Noctis of 14's world, or...
Basically what happened was he somehow, in the middle of his own thing, ended up in a rift that ended up taking him here instead. So he's kind of stranded here at the moment with the regalia.
Does he ever mention, like, at any point, like, is this when he first gets knocked out for the time jump, or at some other point, or...
Yeah, I don't remember.
Fair enough. It's not a massive thing, it's just...
Because here's the thing, he's not the only one that ends up here. Some of the, obviously, those Magitech troops end up here as well, plus that monster he's fought. And that's not the only thing, a certain thing coming up also finds their way here as well. But I'm not going to say what happens on that.
Didn't 15 have a piece of DLC as well, where a character from 14 ended up in 15?
That might have been. I don't know. I haven't touched 15 in a while, though.
I'm pretty sure there was, because I remember there being a lot of advertisement for that as well. I think it was one of the cat girls. I can't remember.
Be Stola, but...
It might have been Stola. It might have just been that race. I can't remember. I'm fairly certain there was something. I might be misremembering, though.
Yeah.
That is actually a really nice looking cup of whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can see the water in it actually spiraling.
Noctis also realized he needs to get back to his world.
No, Noctis, you're better off staying in 14. Believe me. Brad Pitt just won an Oscar. I've got them on in the background, that's why I mention it. Because I've got some kind of television. Alright.
Yeah, we're back in Great
Back in the game.
Yep, and I have to talk to her again.
all due respect, Jesus Christ, what was that? Was that like a dungeon or something? I know it was one of the main quests, but the fucking name stands out really, really strongly. I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah.
I got
it
my
might
phone
have been,
here.
given when this was recorded in between it might have been one of the, and it was a main scenario quest name, I know that.
Oh yeah, it says right there it was, but
Yeah.
the name itself just brings up a memory that's sort of blocked. I'm trying to remember what the actual quest itself was. No, you got like a bunch of different shit. It's definitely familiar though, the name itself.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a main scenario quest from the second half of Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
In fact, let me see if I can find where exactly it ends up here. Oh, that was part of patch 2.2. Holy cow. Let me see where it is.
Let's speak to Noctis again.
Oh, that was during patch 2.2 where we had to, near the end of that, fight Leviathan.
Oh, that was a pretty cool fight, that actually.
Yeah. It was actually before that. It was on the way to that. Freaking... Oh, yeah. Dealing with the... Actually, no, it wasn't. That was Titan, I forget.
And just a heads up, people, in case anybody's wondering, I know, and obviously I may as well do this right now since it's not going to have a massive impact, but year 1, I know my fucking playing skills with the game were poor at best. Year 2 wasn't much better, considering that I tried both fucking Summoner and Scholar and it didn't work out great.
Yeah.
But I promise year 3 and year 4, I end up playing the game a whole lot better. I'm not perfect, and Nova will always be able to top my fucking ability with this game, but I promise I'm at least adequate.
Yeah.
I swear. Like you say, I mean, there was that dungeon we did recently. You and me were the only ones left standing at the end of the fucking fight.
Oh, the vault?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
somebody else, I think, dropped out, and the other person was just not saying much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even before the one guy left, we got somebody else in or something, and we just had so many fucking issues with the with the boss fight, killing off the other two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of us was quite low on health, but we still both managed to get through to the end of the boss and see it.
Yeah, the last boss in that fight is one of the reasons I just loathe that dungeon.
So it hasn't changed, people. The dungeons are still the best part of 14, without question.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not playing the Vault or the Great Google Library, both those dungeons can go, suck an egg for all I care.
I should also point this out as well. There's going to be a massive gap between any side stuff. Like, we're doing this here for a good reason, and we'll explain it at the end. But I think the next thing we do is the side quest stuff. Really, is when we are attempting to get all the things so we can fly in certain areas of Heaven's Ward. But that's not for a very long time.
Yeah, and that's not much of a side quest thing. It's just more of a, kind of do with the main story that we can when we're waiting to do things.
Yeah, we've said
when we're on the way to thing, we can pick them up along the way usually.
It's said before that we're going to leave things like Palace of the Dead until we've done all story quest stuff. Essentially, because I am determined for us to fucking beat that. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we will need more.
Now I haven't been in the Palace of Denver since I finally did actually go back and clear the 50 floors in that.
I haven't even attempted it
ever since.
But we will probably need a party of 4 for that. So.
Oh yes, you will.
We might get away with 3, but I would definitely.
We'll only get away with 3 for maybe the instance of the.
Well, you and I got the first got to floor 20 before we couldn't pass that boss.
Yeah, we can use 3 to get past those set of floors that we got struggled with, but we'll need more than 3 to get through 50 of them, I can tell you that.
Hopefully we'll be able to accomplish it, though.
I can tell you that when I went through and got through them, the later floors have a lot more enemies. And by that point, you're not even trying to fight all the enemies, because if you did, you'd run out of time. You'd have to, like, pick off an enemy here and there and then try to sneak your way around them. I mean, I'm not kidding about that. It's the one thing I do remember from the later floors on that. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And there's also a couple of optional dungeons, and I decided I don't know whether Nova will do commentaries for it either, but I'll be doing like a second run through with a different, well, with the same character, but I'm just going to call her Corellia Seraph II and do like side quest stuff instead of showing off like main quests again. Because obviously we don't do most of the side quests that's in all the floors and stuff, and then doing the hunting log and all that. You know, this is all stuff for the future when, 14 decides, no, we're not having any more story content updates.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the experience doing optional trials that normally you wouldn't do, like basically harder difficulty ones that would be like the extreme or getting you introduced to the savage mode ones, which would be definitely be doing those on sync, because I'm doing those right now and they're no joke.
So I am looking forward to, here's the thing, I mean, we've only been away from 14 now for just less than a month, actually. I'm actually starting to miss it already. But unfortunately, money's not the best at the moment, so can't even afford it, even if I wanted to at the moment.
Right. Yeah, because I think I finally cleared XIV Savage some time ago, and I was 10 levels ahead when our party cleared it. If you don't honor the mechanics even then, it will still mop the floor with you.
It sounds difficult.
Yeah, it is. And that was actually one of the more difficult level 70 Savage dungeon raids that was out there, so that certainly didn't help matters.
Wow, Noctis is a lot taller than you realize.
Yeah.
I thought your character would have fucking towered over. Oh, then again, he's on the hill, so it might be that.
Yeah. I will say this, the Makote races aren't necessarily the tallest ones in the game either. I mean,
I thought the male ones were, but apparently not. Then again, my character...
Not the male Makote, no.
Then again, my character is really, really short. I only made her about half height, maybe a bit less than that.
Yeah, because you're playing a tier Midlander, which are probably about maybe average human race size.
Yeah, and I think even then I made her a bit smaller than average as well. So.
Yeah, but then you got the here Highlanders, which are their mountain-based counterparts that could end up being like some of the taller ones in the game, along with the Ellison characters, and then you've got the